Hey, it's your boy Sean and welcome to Go. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the McLaren 765LT. And if you know how Go goes, you know we get straight to the point about what they could have did and what they should have did and whether or not I'm feeling this car. So let's get to it. Let me tell you what's different about this car. We have the quad tip exhaust, which probably shoots them super fireballs like the 675LT. This car has 750 horsepower or 765 psi, which is where it gets its name. And the LT stands for long tail. Even though they're saying the tail isn't longer in this car, the active wing is a lot bigger for more of that downforce. We have more active airway bits, of course, to keep this car planted to the road. And this car has a top speed limited, I believe, to 205 miles per hour. It's slower than the 720S because of the downforce and the active airway parts. Now I'm gonna get into the part of whether McLaren blew their golden opportunity with this car, and what I might say might piss a couple of the McLaren enthusiasts off, but it's whatever because they're not gonna watch this video, so I'm gonna say what I want. Okay, first, who is this car actually for? See, my issue is not only did they release a cheaper track focus McLaren last year or the year before in the 675 LT, the Senna is a thing. I know the Senna is a lot more expensive. Here in the States is about $1 million. Overseas is about 800, 900, whatever. That's not the point. The point is the Senna is a track focus beast, and it's superior to this car, and it's also based on the same platform. See, McLaren is doing a lot of things off the back of the 720S. The Senna, the Speedtail, the Elva, they're really eating off the plate of this car, and they all have the same twin turbocharged V8, which is, you know, kind of devaluing this car and any car that's coming after. That's been an issue with McLaren for a while now, even though they did wait a few years before actually releasing the long tail version of the 720. And there's been complaints about reliability, customer service and stuff like that when it comes to these McLarens. It's a fairly new company, technically speaking, maybe 10 years now since they've started making cars, so I can't really hold that against them. They will eventually get together. Hopefully the cars will be actually worth a damn and people won't be getting out of them as soon as they get them. And speaking of reliability, this car, I don't know if I mentioned, is 170 some pounds lighter than the 720S, and one of the weight savings they've gone with is with thinner glass. And if you know anything about the 675LT, it is that the glass is prone to crack and break, and it basically obliterate itself with the rattling that goes on with this car. Is that going to be an issue with this car as well? That remains to be seen. Maybe McLaren has figured out something with the glass that they keep it from shattering. Who knows? I guess we'll see when the cars are actually being delivered. Now let's get to the main course of today's meal. The McLaren missed their golden opportunity with the 765LT, and I'll have to say, yeah, you kind of missed it when you released the Senna first. I don't know, maybe McLaren was just trying to sell the Senna as quick as possible. They need a replacement for the P1 for a while now, and that was their golden opportunity then. But you kind of depreciated your top shelf Super Series 720 when you did that. You probably could have waited a few years, released this car first, then the Senna, then the Speedtail, and then whatever else you had down the pipeline. It's not that I don't think this is going to be an excellent car. I think it'll be an excellent car for people in that price range, the super rich people or the well-off people who love to pay whatever they have in savings for an excellent, I'm assuming, car. But the depreciation hit will be real, because you know they're gonna come out with the next best thing sooner rather than later. The McLaren is churning these cars out like nobody's business, and like I said before, I don't know if that's a good business model to continue doing what you've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm just saying the opportunity for this car is probably past when you released the 665LT and the Senna before it. It just, why would anybody really want this? I can see people getting it if they don't, you know, own a Speedtail or a Senna or a P1, but you have other cars that do this thing, and you have, you know, the affordable Corvettes coming out, and I don't think there'll ever be like a track focused version of that, but I don't really see people using these cars for what they're intended, so it kind of defeats the purpose. You should have done this while the hype was still alive, while people were still in love with this car. Now I just wonder what's coming next, and knowing McLaren, we'll probably see that next year or later this year, who knows. But yeah, I want to bring this video to a close. Do you think that McLaren missed this golden opportunity with the 765LT? Do you think they should have released it before the Senna like I do, or you think this is the right time for a car like this? I don't know, maybe I'm a little off, and maybe my mind will be changed later on when this car's finally been put through its paces. Not like I'll be the one driving it, but I know some guys that do their thing out here on this YouTube thing, and they know better than I do. So it is what it is. If you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. If you want to see what I got planned next, come see what I got planned next. I got a lot of stuff for this channel. Really want you guys to be there with me. With that said, I'll catch you later.